A U.S. Air Force C-130 sits on the tarmac at Midland International Air and Spaceport, surrounded by gray plastic dummies. An odd sight to some, but to Nicholas Krakovic, it's serious business. It's the FAA-mandated triannual disaster exercise.
Every airport that serves commercial air carriers is required every 3 years to do an exercise like this to test their airport emergency plan, so we can learn what works well, what doesn't work well, areas we may need to improve upon, and allow a lot of the first responders and the airport's mutual aid partners who may not experience emergencies at an airport to gain some experience. So should unfortunately a real world event happen, everybody is better prepared to respond.
The event is a large undertaking that requires coordination with multiple organizations and volunteers from across Midland and Odessa. But yesterday was not Krakovic's first rodeo. He's been involved in drills like these since his childhood.
This is the third one I've helped organize, and I've also participated as a volunteer in two before when I was growing up. We had members of the Civil Air Patrol here today to help be some of our simulated passengers. That was an organization I was a member of as a child, and I helped do 2 drills in my local community, playing as a passenger as well. So it's the 5th overall, but it's the 3rd one that I've helped organize or run.
Some changes had to be made to this year's drill to accurately replicate a plane crash involving between 70 to 135 people.
A few years ago, we used to be a smaller, what's called an ARF index. So the amount of, or the size of aircraft that typically operate here dictates how many people you have to have on your fake accident. Over the last couple of years, that's gone up, so we've had to increase the number of our simulated passengers. We've also tried to work more on some of the security concerns that may come into play on such a large-scale incident. And we've also worked on evidence preservation and scene preservation.
At the end of the day, it's all about getting better to ensure the safety of travelers flying in and out of Midland International Air and Spaceport.
It's always really fulfilling once you finish the drill. The thing that is always the nicest for me to hear is when we have people who may be new to responding to an event such as this say, I really learned something today. And that's ultimately the goal of all the effort and work to host the drill, is to make sure we all try to learn something from it so we can be just a little bit better should we have to come out here for an actual event.
For the City of Midland, I'm Chase Cochran.